In a world where DPS is unknown to most the player base. In a world.
Should we just do it like Parks and Rec?
In a world. In a world.
Just keep doing it over and over. It's fun talking guns. Matter of fact, it's a blast when you're hanging out with the Pizza Party Destiny Podcast. Hello, pizza people. I'm starting to every single time calling everybody pizza people.
I'm okay with pizza
amazing.
people. We can make that a thing.
Hello, pizza people. We're back with another episode of the Pizza Party Destiny Podcast with your hosts in the light and motion idiot.
That's me.
Today, we're going to talk a little TWAB. Start off with the fundraiser for COVID-19 support that Bungie's putting on today. And then we'll move on to the Grandmaster Nightfalls. They just talked about it a little bit. The situation, what's going to be happening, and then our take on if, it was juicy enough.
Yeah, right. How juicy is it? We'll get into it.
Chewy. And then we'll go to...
You can't just do that, bro.
And then we'll move on to Banner and Bugs, and that'll be the TWAB. And our big segment for the day is the DPS check.
Ooh, the DPS check. We'll go into some DPS numbers come the current season. A lot of sandbox changes, so gotta talk about it.
Coolio. So,
But where are we starting today?
starting with the fundraiser.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
just putting on another fundraiser for everyone on the front lines of this COVID-19 pandemic. So on Monday, twitch.tv/Bungie, you can get involved and donate, and there is an emblem for if you donate, and it's just another good cause for our community to come together and help out some people.
Yeah, absolutely. So it starts 10 a.m. Pacific on the day this releases. So if you're listening to this, it already happened. But Monday, for the record, we're doing a cool little charity. It says here, we'll reveal how you can earn this emblem to display proudly in game, because they tend to do cool support donation drives. So this is awesome. Love it.
Yeah, it looks pretty nice. This is probably the juiciest part of the TWAB. We're going to talk about Grandmaster Nightfalls, and they are going to be coming later this month. April 21st, to be exact, and I'm pretty sure that's when Guardian Game starts as well.
Yep. It'll be a meteor week, because we'll get a few things at the same time.
All right. What needs to happen to make it great? Here we go. First one. Grandmaster should build on Master difficulty, but be significantly more challenging.
Right now, Master Nightfalls are definitely the most demanding as far as build composition. So if they're going to make it more challenging, I can only assume that means stricter modifiers, more champions, harder to kill enemies, things of those natures. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's like, where do you go? You just make them you make them chunkier, like harder to kill. Do you make it more modifiers? Like now it just seems like there's so many modifiers. Like you look in the page and you go to the next one, it's just 3 lists of different modifiers you gotta deal with.
And they did confirm that Extinguish is going to be a thing again. So this is going to feel like the old school D1 style.
And they said certain amount of revives. That seems rough.
Ooh,
holy moly, that seems rough.
About that.
Maybe just for the darkness zones. So like in between darkness zones, you'll have like obviously the whole thing's extinguished, but maybe like in between, if somebody dies, like you can get them up and it won't cost you or something.
Yeah, and they mentioned you can earn additional revives by taking down champions.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
Neat.
So what if like a buddy goes down towards the end? You're out of revives, but you're like, we can take down this one more champion, get you up before the boss. Yeah. Sounds like fun. We'll see.
All right, cool. Next one. Once you reach a certain bar, the challenge should be found completely in perfecting your builds, communication, and execution.
Love this.
This is extremely like for the style that we play is we're very min-maxed. Like Nightfalls now, it's always 2 Izanagi's burning and then somebody with a divinity.
Yep.
And like burden went down a little bit, but still a good system. It's very like I need this super, we need support super, we need something to clear out ads, so we got a roaming like your nades and your mods and everything's in place before we go off into these Nightfalls.
Yep. And this bullet point is specifically referencing something they mention a little further down, which is that once you've hit 1025, you will no longer be able to receive benefits from higher light or power level. So where it says once you reach a certain bar, the challenge should be found completely in perfecting your builds, communication, and execution. That means that once you've hit 1025, you're ready. There is no growing beyond this point. The challenge remains. Exciting, very exciting.
Yeah, like you've made it. Now it's your skill. Isn't you? There's no boost. It's your skill. Next one. The primary rewards should be doled out on the initial completion. So the big drops, aka pinnacle stuff like that, is on your very first one of the week, or what does that mean? Like, what if we were farming this? We should be getting.
It's a good question.
Really good stuff farming it. If it's the highest and what they said, their words, the toughest activity they've ever created.
So my take on the primary rewards should be doled out on initial completion is that there has to be some guaranteed loot connected to the activity. So where you're supposed to get a chance at this or a chance at that, when you complete a Master Nightfall.
Mm-hmm. Guaranteed rewards.
I think the first time you run it and complete it, it will be like, here is your Ascended Shard. Here is your 1 exotic for completing it. And then maybe sequential runs in the week might be like improved chances to get those items. But for the player, that's doing just one and getting it done, you get your rewards. You get what you're promised, and you get it on the first run. I like that.
Yeah, for sure.
It's similar to the Flawless Chest, having a way to guarantee if I do X, I receive Y, as opposed to the randomness of the Master Nightfall as it stands, which is rewarding, but kind of annoying, I think is the best way to
some runs don't feel as good as the other run, and some runs are just like, oh my gosh, showered with loot. It's a big difference. Okay, this is a big one. This is like the biggest one. Completion should be the primary metric for success, rather than score or time or another inactivity metric like killing all champions.
Yay.
What do we say? So long, platinum rewards.
Yeah, so platinum rewards is cool, but it's a little glitchy for anyone who's done it. Sometimes you'll just get gold, and you certainly killed all the champions, which is annoying. But not tying the rewards to anything other than get to the end and complete it. This is very exciting. To me, personally, we were chatting before the show, but what if that means that skipping champions or ignoring certain champions can be a legitimate strat? And if we're ignoring champions, does that leave room in our build crafting for exotics that are good but don't see as much play because, you need to be running the most optimal stuff? Anarchy, Xenophage, 1K... I want to see some guns that are, not as useful in these high-end activities get used because maybe the strategy changes because we're not trying to kill all the champions. We're just trying to make it through. At least that's my take on it. I would be excited to see new builds.
Mm-hmm. And I think that it ties into our next one, which is Grandmasters should stress the top end of build crafting.
Beautiful segue.
AKA... I don't like this whole thing of like, oh, well, I'm just using these meta guns. It's Recluse and Delirium and this and that and Anarchy and this and that. Like, I wanna stress that top end, put some tension on it. Maybe it's not the best. What do I gotta look around for? What's next? What do I gotta do? Maybe we should be shooting through my shield. Maybe we should be doing this or that, using different guns and maybe it's not, maybe snipers aren't as strong, but maybe like this section or this Nightfall Maybe it's just smarter to play like the backside, or maybe somebody that can go in and take all the aggro or this or that. We really like to experiment with the different stuff, and they don't get as much love because they aren't as good, but they can be fun. And if they like creep up and they're like being really good, like the alchemy for the chess piece for the warlock, what if it is really good, like for the stuff like that? What if you're just bogged down and you just need to heal over and over and over and over and over again?
Give yourself enough time to get to the next rift, so that you can move like lily padding around. Yeah, and I like that you're sitting here crafting builds already, you nerd.
It's gonna be difficult, and there's gonna be niche ones that are gonna happen, come out of nowhere. It's gonna be really sweet.
We might even see each strike having its own meta, so to speak. Like maybe because of the way,
sure,
yeah, exactly. Like instead of like we were mentioning earlier, like 2 Izzies and Divinity, is so spectacular. In most cases, you can ignore champion mechanics because of how powerful you are, which is obviously not what they're going for. But in a situation where, who knows if we can run past them or skip them, or maybe it's more important to build to kill the boss instantly than it is to build against champions. So the decisions you're making are more focused on what we're going to be doing in this activity versus like, hey, it's the Grandmaster Nightfall, so obviously we run Izanagi's Burden and Divinity. So
like that actually kind of gets me an idea of like different champions are easier to kill than the other ones. So what is our plan?
It's the
now
truth.
Like, we need an extra revive. That unstoppable, I'm gonna go unstop him with my hand cannon and then take my 4th horseman out and absolutely obliterate him, and we just gotta revive back. Let's go, keep moving.
Absolutely. If you've looked into the mods for this season, you'll notice that Unstoppable and Overload are available through abilities, melees and grenades.
Yes.
So with that in mind, I could run, let's say, Chaos Reach instead of Well. So now I don't need Overload rounds on anything. I can just save my nades for Overload guys, or just know when they're coming up. And it allows me a little bit more freedom to bring whatever exotics I'd like along, because I already have access to something.
What's going to be
like
tactically appropriate for each strike is going to be cool.
That's cool, yeah. Like you said, identity. Like having each strike feel like, this is this strike. You definitely want 1K for this strike because it's really good against this one boss who likes to do X, Y, or Z kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Love it.
Neat. And the very last one, which I think is like mandatory with how content creators are kind of like, because this is a pretty slow season, so people are playing other games and stuff. We ourselves have been playing other games. The Grandmaster Nightfall should be watchable. Super agree. If we are not forced to kill champions and there's certain methods and craziness we can sneak past and do this and that and just like beat it out, dude, it's gonna be fun for people to speedrun that and people to watch and be like, oh, well, I'm taking that to my team. I'm gonna use that tonight when I do some Nightfalls.
Watching people come up with new strats on the fly. A lot of people were upset about the sword changes because Worldline, speedruns and stuff changed. Well, I want to see some high level Grandmaster Nightfall speedruns. That would be something to get excited about and watch.
Ooh, some world records out there. That's
yeah,
cool.
a lot of dudes from Redeem like to do the speedruns. They've definitely crushed it with raids and strikes in the past, so I'd love to see like, hey, we're going to try to do these Grandmaster Nightfalls, but like, that perfection of like perfect build. We know exactly how to kill the boss instantly. We know what stuff to skip. We'll show you the strats.
Or even like 2-manning it or soloing it.
Yeah, soloing the Grandmaster Nightfall. I mean, are you ready for those esoteric videos to come out?
Yeah. Oh my god, for sure. So yeah, that's about it for the Grandmaster. Other
April
than
21st.
like I said earlier, I think power level is 1050. You can only get to 1025.
Oh yeah, that's down from
it is.
1060 confirmed.
Yes,
it will be lower. I'm assuming that they maybe thought people were going to be higher level and they're not. So it's like bring it down 10.
And it's contest mode too. So like moving on, it doesn't matter. It's always going to be the same difficulty. Like you're always going to be challenged, and that's going to be the challenging part. Like doesn't matter how high you go. And then they mentioned Extinguish and Limited Revives. Oh, and the seasonal title for the Grandmaster Nightfalls, you will be labeled a Conqueror. And I'm sorry, but that seems really sweet. Like it's got a nice ring to it, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. It sounded as if they might have even, like, I read it as like next season might be Season of the Conquerors or something like that. But yes, the Conqueror title will be awarded to you if you do all of the steps. They said it's supposed to be a grindy, incredibly difficult to acquire PvE, like, top tier title, which I would consider all raid titles to be of that level, and all titles below that, like Dredgen, Cursebreaker, the ones that are more so about time investment, the seasonal titles like Undying or Savior, or the one that we're going to get this season for practically nothing.
You got to get to 1025, you know? You have
It's
to at least
cool
grind
to
a little
know
bit.
that. Yeah, exactly. Like this is like, no, this isn't going to go to slouches. Like, you need to be committed to, like, knowing the game's mechanics well enough to defeat this, but also, like, grind your way up to
Having
a
a
level
team.
suitable. Yeah, having a team of people that are willing to communicate and learn. I mentioned this earlier, and it's like the hot take right now is if the reward is the title, which I'm fine with. I'm cool with Conqueror. Sounds dope. I'm into it. I'm going to get that title, and I'm going to be done. And I hope you understand that, because grinding for exotics and materials is fun, but I did that in preparation for this. So earning more of the same it's good, and it'll be fun to get it while I earn the title, but once I earn the title, you know, I personally will be like, I'm out until there's more in here, you know.
So that's like, what, 2 weeks away? So we got a little bit of time.
2 weeks from tomorrow, Tuesday.
So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how tough it is. We'll see the rewards, and the Destiny community will instantly know if it's worth it or not.
Trial by fire. Reddit will let you know if you did a good job or not.
Even if you didn't want to know, you're gonna know.
Yeah, it's gonna be loud.
Cool. So done with that. Let's move on to our next one, which is gonna be just briefly mentioning Banner is tomorrow.
Ooh, Banner tomorrow.
And bonus Valor gains enabled throughout the week, usually double throughout the week, triple on the
Bingo
weekends.
bango. No, somebody mentioned on Reddit that, now I don't know if this applies to Valor, but it was applying towards Gambit Infamy. It was 2 times for the first part of the week, and then when Friday hit, it stayed at 2 times. And either Cosmo or DMG mentioned they knew about it.
Darn them.
And they didn't. It wasn't intentional. Classic.
Damn that man.
We don't know what happened. We pulled one wire and it turned off triple XP for the weekends. So anyway, double XP for Valor. Go play Banner for good rolls. You know, and there's enhanced armor mods if you don't like doing Nightfalls. This is the best way to
Loader,
get your hands
dexterity, all that stuff.
on those. Yeah, enhanced
And flinching.
all the stuff.
It's nice to have, especially the loaders. You know, got like 3 for like primary guns, which is like you're just gonna want all those. Just get pulse and auto and scout and all that stuff just to have it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, and then bugs, clan creation and editing. You cannot create one and you cannot edit one, but you can still join or leave. So
okay. Set in stone clans for now.
They talked about the PC crashing update. A lot of the beaver codes and all the codes and stuff. They have like a grid on there talking about how it's just went flying up, and they've put something in to like slow it down and like halved it, but it's still obviously higher than
they
was
definitely
ever.
showed some data to suggest that they're getting lessened as time goes on. Booyah! I like this one. It says the dynamic charge perk doesn't activate on symmetry if shot through the chitin's ramparts assisted assault barricade. So you can't charge up the perk if you're shooting through your wall. Don't know why. Seems like some type of like, oh man, good luck on whoever's got to code that, because that sounds like a nightmare.
Oh god, that seems insane. Like, this has to work with this, has to be like technically not even there as it's shooting. Oh gosh.
And I don't know if you saw Cool Guy's video, but he suggested that they are certainly bugged and that sometimes primary weapons specifically, he said snipers are fine, but primary weapons have trouble connecting shots when shot through the barricade. And it seems to be like it's definitely a bug or yeah, exactly. Like bullet magnetism is being reduced or something. I don't know. Anyway, don't mean to draw out the bugs.
That's it about bugs. Did you want to do Bungie replies? Anything in there?
Oh yeah, so they always reply to comments on Reddit, which is great. The ones that I'm thinking that I want to mention, this one is hilarious, so I just have to read it verbatim. This one's from the UltraFan25 on Reddit. It says, "Greetings again on behalf of r/Fighting Lion. With upcoming patch notes being teased in TWABs, we Lioners are a little worried that this patch may not address the issue of Fighting Lion that was pointed out and acknowledged in previous comments, aka blast radius and blast damage. We would like the assurance that this is being addressed and fixed in the upcoming patch. It would make many of us Lioners happy and give us something to look forward to. This currently is holding myself and many others from taking our lion to the lighthouse. Thank you in advance. A fix is coming in the next patch, confirmed. The Lion House. So that's great. People are waiting to take Fighting Lion to the lighthouse. Otherwise, he confirmed that the title will be available next season for the Grandmaster Nightfall, as well as the Flawless title. 1050 is the confirmed light level. It will drop from what we see in-game right now. And then the other comment is the contest mode. Is it going away? And he suggests no. 1025 will always be the way that it works. 1025 contest mode. You cannot go above 1025 in this activity. You will receive no benefits beyond that point. So that's great. A little clarification in the comments. No problems there.
Cool.
Is it time?
Cool. So that's it for the TWAB. That is us done talking about the TWAB.
Is it time?
And next, it is time.
In a world where DPS is unknown to most the player base. In a world.
Should we just do it like Parks and Rec?
In a world.
Just keep doing it over and over.
This, my friends, is the DPS check.
The DPS check.
So I ran through some spreadsheets created by community members of different levels of DPS from various weapon types. Top 5 lists with honorable mentions.
Okay.
These top 5 lists include burst DPS, aka 1 mag from any particular weapon. Now this excludes single shot weapons like Mountaintop or Izanagi's, because it's really difficult to calculate burst damage when you're only firing 1 bullet. So they're just left off the table. They're not bad. They're just not included for the sake of, I don't even know how you could compare it properly to other weapons. And sustained DPS is the other category, which is DPS including reloads. So real life type scenarios where you would be fighting like a raid boss and a damage window is 15 to 20 seconds long. You're going to have time to reload or swap weapons, so you can make decisions based on that. This will include no class-specific weapons, so no swords that are unique to certain classes, and no class-specific exotics. So nothing like Actium War Rig is accounted for, because although Xenophage is a good weapon, it's particularly good on one class and less good on the other classes. And so it didn't make sense to include that. So otherwise, we can get into it. We'll start with the exotic burst damage. So I'm actually excited, and I'm thinking I'll start at 5 and go to 1.
Number 5.
All right, coming in at number 5, we've got Darcy. If you can believe it, of the exotic weapons, number 5 is Darcy. So dumping a full mag of Darcy is better than pretty much any sniper in the game for DPS reasons. Just 1 mag. It's pretty cool, if you ask me.
Darcy. God, I haven't used that since Scourge.
Underused. It's kind of got the OG box breathing effect, so it has quite a bit of bonus damage, and it fires faster than any other gun. Once you start reloading, that number plummets, But for one mag of Darcy, you can put out some pretty decent DPS.
Number 4.
Coming in at number 4, we've got the Leviathan Raid exotic, Legend of Acreus. Ooh, the Arc Heavy Shotgun.
It packs a Crackrius.
Yeah, it packs a Crackrius. Quite the punch coming from this thing. This thing does not change its DPS value with reloading. So Acreus actually has the same burst and sustained DPS, which is great. So again, number 4 on top exotics for damage. Unfortunately, being a shotgun, some things do not allow you to get that close and stand for that long. However, Legend of Acreus does have one of the highest burst damages of any shotgun.
That's cool. And that's because, like, once you get to the end of the magazine, it's the same amount of time as shooting it or reloading it. So, like, holding the trigger as you're reloading it, and boom, and then it happens.
Yes. So, like, reload, shot is the same speed as shot.
It is a truck, man. You're shooting a
Yeah,
literal truck.
and it feels like you're wielding a bus.
Number 3.
Coming in at number 3, we've got the Lord of Wolves shotgun. This is a special weapon, first special weapon of the list, and it's because you can dump 30 rounds in 3 10-burst pulls if you're hitting all headshots, which in some cases is hard, other cases is not, depending on the boss.
Squirrely.
Similar to Acreus, it's a shotgun, so, buyer beware. You can't use this on everything. However, it overperforms. It is so powerful. People do not give this the credit it deserves in PvE. It is a top tier weapon.
Yeah, I need to bust it back out, man. And when you get the catalyst finish for it too, and you got those 2 modes. So if you're in big, chunking damage, you got fast reloads. If you're in the just clearing through ads, you got the nice good stability. It's actually really sweet.
No question. And yeah, that catalyst definitely helps it because all the sustained numbers that I've calculated out include assuming max reload. So assuming you have the fastest reload you can to optimize the weapons.
Number 2.
Coming in at number 2, the exotic grenade launcher, the Prospector. Number 2 exotic in the game for DPS. This is just burst DPS. So again, once you reload this thing, that number's going to plummet because its reload is really, really bad. But one mag fires faster than any grenade launcher. It has burn damage and it just melts.
Old Prospector here.
Yeah.
Don't forget the grenade launcher, the old Prospector.
Yeah, it's spectacular.
Yeah, the thing rips, dude. The thing absolutely rips. You feel like it's laying down the damage as you're just hip firing it. It's nutty. I love shooting that thing.
And even with reload, I think it's good. We'll talk a little bit more in sustained damage, but yeah, as a burst weapon, it's definitely worth your time to melt a strike boss with this thing.
Number 1.
Coming in at number 1, we have the most obvious weapon ever. Light, do you want to take a guess at the best burst DPS in the game? We have not discussed this, by the way.
It's got to be Fighting Lion, right?
Kick him.
Wait. Kick light out of this party. I hear it might be something that we just got.
It might just be.
Oh man. What could it be, Emotion?
Coming in at number 1, the 4th Horseman exotic shotgun. This is the second special weapon on the list, and it is coming in at number 1 burst damage. Nothing comes close to emptying 5 rounds of increasingly stronger bullets in less than a second. This makes the list because unlike firing a single shot, it's more quantifiable damage. If you fire off all 5 of them directly in front of a target, it takes longer than, a microsecond. It's over the course of, it is less than a second, but it is, it's worth noting that nothing will destroy something faster than 4th Horseman, especially if that enemy has less health than 5 shots. So if you need multiple people to take down something, 4th Horseman might not be the best option. But if 5 shots is enough, nothing will kill it faster than Fourth Horseman.
It feels like it's almost all coming out at once.
Yeah, just
Oh!
yeah. You just gotta hold the trigger and ride the horse because it's pretty sweet.
Yeah, it's a bucking bronco for sure, man. That thing rips out there, and it is. I mean, and we're talking about with the catalyst too. It gives an extra bullet.
Oh yeah, assuming everything on this list has the catalyst. So certain weapons operate better. Lord of Wolves, Prospector, Sleeper Simulant. Yeah, the ones that have increased charge rate. So I'm going to move on to some honorable mentions for that list because it's definitely worth talking about in the burst category. Tied for 6th is Whisper and 1K. This is just in the burst category. So Whisper excels better in the sustained category because there's no reloads. But when burst damage is what we're calculating, Whisper falls behind a bit and actually ties almost exactly with 1K for a single mag use. Yep. And then tied for 7th, Sleeper Simulant and Xenophage. And they're both very close. 6th and 7th slot are both very close. So this is 4 weapons that exist just beyond the top 5. Whisper, 1K, Sleeper, and Xenophage.
Bro. That's 4 solar heavy weapons.
4 solar
Gallahorn.
If Galley was in there, I honestly believe that it might be able to crack into this list because I think if they release Galley, it might have 2 rockets. Truth has 3. I know. Rockets are a little weird. We'll get into it. But that's it for burst damage. Moving on, Light, just an aside to you. We're gonna go a little bit quicker with these next ones. We don't have to dolly too much.
Cool.
Like we'll go through them just a little bit quicker. Won't be a big deal. Okay, moving on to sustained DPS. Starting with
Number 5.
number 5 is 1,000 Voices, if you can believe it, coming in the 5th slot. I love this weapon. Super good. You only have to reload it once to dump all your reserves. So it stays pretty high on the sustained DPS list, which I love.
Gun's amazing. I mean, if you didn't do it, if you didn't do the raid 40 times to try to get it, then, what are you going to do? You get it. You just go and get it.
Exactly. You just go get it. If you don't have it, you just go get it. It's that simple. Number 4 is Lord of Wolves. Lord of Wolves DPS still very high. It does not fall off that much because max reload speed is very achievable with the Catalyst. Mm-hmm. When you're in that DPS mode, firing 10 round bursts instead of 5, your reload speed is significantly improved. So you're number 4 on sustained DPS.
Number 3.
Coming in at number 3, sustained DPS, you guessed it, Whisper of the Worm. Yes, this was tied for 6th on the burst list, but sustained DPS, Whisper of the Worm is an absolute mad lad. That whispered breathing catalyst, paired with not having to reload, can be absolutely terrifying to any raid boss. Number 3.
Yeah, just hit your shots.
Yeah, hit your shots. It's a good scrub type of weapon because you don't really use this thing if you can't crit 3 in a row over and over.
Yeah, if you can't crit commander, you gotta do it. All right, cool.
You're not wrong, sir.
Number 2.
Coming in at number 2, sustained DPS, Legend of Acreus. Now, just like Whisper of the Worm, the DPS for burst and sustained is exactly the same because reloading and shooting is the same as shooting and shooting. And I believe you don't even need the catalyst, which increases reload speed, but you can acquire that through other means. So there's a way to get there without getting the catalyst. That's great. Number 2 in sustained DPS, again, shotguns, use them where you can.
Shotguns are everywhere, man. And the cream of the crop.
Cream of the crop, baby.
Number 1.
If you can believe it, number 1 for sustained DPS is also Fourth Horseman. Standing in front of a target and reloading 5 bullets at max speed using, rally barricade plus enhanced shotgun loader, what have you, will net you the fastest DPS sustained in the game. That's no joke. You can reload this gun. And now, if you're using things like Hunter Roll to reload or throwing knives with that one exotic, you can reload this thing faster than that. And this number goes even further through the roof. That's why we don't include those numbers, because it would just be impossible to test everything against itself. Fourth Horseman is the best sustained damage, but I think the caveat is you're firing a shotgun, and it's not one like Acreus that continues to fire over and over. So there will be a point where the boss is going to try to stomp you. They're going to try to push you away. So, like I said before, buyer beware. You can't take a shotgun everywhere and expect to be successful.
Yeah, the shotguns, like, like you said, accurate is like consistently. You go through the entire magazine and you're not like taking time to reload. Fourth Horseman is like, you don't spend any time shooting the gun. All your time is spent reloading. So you're 100%. Like, oh shoot, well now I'm reloading here, so I gotta be ready, and I can reload, and then boom, they're all gone again. Oops, I guess I'm reloading again. You're
not wrong at all. That's basically, it's reload simulator with a gun.
Yeah, because the shots are out so fast. It's so cool. Cool, so that does it for exotics?
So that is sustained DPS exotics. I do have a few honorable mentions here.
Sweet.
Coming in at number 6 is Izanagi's Burden for sustained damage, just outside of the top 5 list. So it's still incredibly powerful, and it's not mentioned on the burst list simply because it's too difficult to quantify single shot damage. So a single reload into another shot is over a second long, so you have to immediately assume that it's sustained damage unless the target dies right away, right in front of you, which is the goal. Right. Anyway, number 6 on sustained DPS, just outside the top 5, and number 7, the Prospector. So again, not a slouch in damage by any means.
Just get that reload and just dump them again.
Yeah, exactly. Just dump out all the reserves again. It's full auto. It fires very, very fast, and it has tick damage. Again, that's 6th and 7th, respectively. However, I would like to mention sustained DPS or burst DPS with exotic weapons is basically done with a shotgun. Fourth Horseman, Lord of Wolves, and Acreus are on both of these lists of the top 5s. So, like, shotguns are strong. And I won't go into tractor cannon damage because although the DPS is good, it's below most of these weapons. And it also, it's not like you're going to shoot something with tractor cannon and then just sit there shooting it with tractor cannon. You'll likely change to a different gun. So creating a model for that type of damage is really difficult. But yeah, that's the exotics. Grab yourself an exotic shotgun because they're all insanely good is basically what I would take from this.
And that's going to do it for another episode of the Pizza Party Destiny podcast. Hope you guys liked all our DPS. And, this will always, we'll always talk about this stuff. Stuff change in the meta. We'll bring it up again. We want everyone to know the fun and awesome guns to use for the DPS.
Absolutely. And on next week's episode, we're going to break down your best legendary options and even some perks to look out for those weapons. So stay tuned.
Freaking heck yes, man. And don't forget to yeet slam that like button.
And Nova Bomb that bell. Ding.
Ding. And, follow us on Twitter and Facebook. Link will be in El Descripciano.
Yeah, leave us a like. Tell us what you'd like to see in an episode.
Yeah, comment.
We're more than willing to break something down for you.
You guys rock.
Thank you.
Love you.
Stay safe.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Cool, you ready to start?
Okay. All right. Shake it off. How do I normally do this?
What do I do? All right, ready? Ready for a 3, 2, 1 pizza?
Oh, I'm ready, baby.
All right, ready? 3, 2, 1 pizza. Did you get that?
Pizza.
Pizza. Okay. All right. All right, ready? Obviously the trials loot. They said this Friday, April 10th, so a few days ago, we will have.
Why are we still talking about this?
Our frackin' rewards ready to go when we need them and not waiting a day. So hopefully they'll have that good to go.
I don't want to talk about it anymore.
No, yeah, we'll be done. We'll just cut it there. All right, cool. Yep, and I'll give you the number.
Give me the number.
Yeah, I'll be like, number 5.
Oh yes, I love that so much. Please do that, but do it again because I wasn't ready. But moving on to, I just peeked pizza out of my mic. Hold on. Oh my god.
For our chairs though today, you already know what the chair is.
Oh, bro, I got the right chair.
Yeah.
I'm bringing the right chair.
Pep, everyone's gonna see your guardian. Oh no, she looks not that bad.
Not that bad. That's not nice. Yeah, you should rephrase that, Brett. I'm gonna turn my HUD off, and we can play hide and seek up there. You excited?